Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I want to show you how to model a bullet. This is more of a beginner's tutorial, I guess. So if you're new to Cinema 4D or if you want to just check out how I modeled this, go ahead. We're going to use this bullet here as a reference. The edges look jagged because this is actually a PNG with an alpha channel. So first of all, we have to import it to our viewport. To do so, we have to go to the front mode and go to options, configure, and then we go to back. It's already selected, and select an image. And got this one here. So I'm going to offset it so the bullet is in the center. Maybe like this. Yeah, we have to be. We don't have to be that exact, but it should be near to the center here. So then we're going to select our pen tool and start drawing one side. So we have like there are three sections here. We have the top and the middle part and the bottom part. And first of all, we're going to do the top part. We're just gonna click here and just click here and here and here and press escape. So now we go and select the move tool and make sure that the point where it's in the middle, that it actually is in the center of our world. So we're gonna go ahead and check it to 0 here. This one as well. And also we want to make sure that these 2 points here are in line with each other. So we select these two and we see that they are actually in line. We don't have to scale them. So now, next thing, we're going to switch to our perspective view. I press S to center it. And then I'm going to select the spline and Alt and go to lathe or lathe or lathe. Say lathe, right? We get this. So this is looking nice, but we have these sharp edges here and we don't want those. So we're going to click on the spline, go to points and select, say we're going to first select this point here, make a right click and go to chamfer. And this way we can make some smooth edges. And we do the same with this point here. Just right click, chamfer. Yeah. And also the top, I don't want it to be that sharp, so I just click on it and make a right click and say soft interpolation. We get a softer interpolation, and to make it even softer, I go to front mode and just, there is this handle, it's hard to see right now. Maybe I should lower the opacity of the background. Let's go to configure, back and up the transparency to like 50%. So now you can see this. These are the handle points. So like this. Okay. So we can see there are some fine lines here. We can avoid that by going to the lathe. I say lathe. Go to subdivisions and up the subdivisions to, let's say, 100. So we get a very smooth object. So this was the first, it was the upper part. Now let's go to the middle part, and it's actually the same. We just select the pen tool and start drawing. And if we have this little bending here, so what I can do is like I click and hold and just pull it. Yeah, and then just go down here, do the same thing here, just click and drag. And here we're gonna go to here and just make this edge here. Press escape. Again, same procedure. Go ahead, check out if the X position is at 0. Also, these 2 points here should be in line. And now they are not. The y direction is not in line. So I just select this one and click and press 0, and it makes it straight. Same goes here. The y position 0, and the x is already at 0. Okay, so same thing. Go to the lathe, click on it, and make it 100. Going to switch to perspective, and again we have these sharp edges. I'm going to click on the spline, go to points mode, and select this point. Right click, create chamfer, and just click and drag till we get something we like so. Maybe, yeah. And the same thing here. Click, right click, chamfer, just click and drag. Nice. So now to the bottom part. Nothing special here. Just click. Oh, sorry. We have to make sure that we don't have any other spline selected when we start drawing a new spline. So just click here that nothing, and make sure that nothing is selected, and click on the pen tool, and now start drawing like so. Maybe so here, and go in there and down. Make a sharp turn here and down and inwards, and press escape. So this one should be at 0. Also these two, 0 them out. These two, actually these 4, we have one up there. Yeah. These 4, just slice them out by X. These 2 are already zeroed out. These 2 by Y, and that's maybe it. Nope. These 2. I mean, you can eyeball it as well, but I like to keep it, how do you say that, straight, maybe. 0, and this one is already at 0. Okay, so now go to perspective view, click on it, Alt, select the lathe. All right, go to the points, select the spline, and start beveling it by right-clicking and say chamfer, like so. Right-click, chamfer, like so. Yeah. Can chamfer these 3. We don't have to chamfer each and every one, but we can do this all together by selecting these 3 points and right click and say chamfer, and just click and drag like so. Same goes with these 2 points, right click, chamfer, click and drag, and we're good to go. We have to upper the subdivisions to 100. We get a very, very smooth model. So So we can see here we have a little bit of a spacing in between. We can avoid that by going to the center view and just maybe click and drag it a little bit downwards, like so. Same thing with the upper part. Click and drag it downwards. Yeah, like so. This is good. So there is another element we could introduce, and it's at the lower part, because often there is like a, I don't know how to say, this part, this inner part here, and this is actually very easy to do. I'm going to show it to you while I'm here in perspective mode as well. We are going to the bottom spline, go to the edit mode, and just click on this one here, and just drag it outwards so we get a hole, like maybe like so, yeah. And then go to the pen mode and just click and click. And you can see here very good that what happens when if this the center point is not, or the middle point where it should connect everything is not really in the center, and this is what happens. We get this shade, this strange shading. So we have to see, and it's it's not really very far off, but if I set this to 0, we get a very smooth shading now. Also with the size, let's see. The X to 0, and then we are gonna bevel. I'm not sure if we have to bevel this point, but I'm gonna do this anyway. Chamfer, click and drag. Yeah. Okay, and now we're gonna add another element at the bottom. This one is like here. Oh, see, I did it again. Click, drag. So like this. Point X to 0, as well as this point 0, and just gonna have to size them into Y, but these two, I guess, yeah, and maybe these two in the X. Yes. Okay. Now again, click on the lathe, and we get this. It's very good. Put the subdivisions to 100, and we don't have to chamfer this upper point because we don't see it, but this point here we want to chamfer, so I have to select it first, and then right click, chamfer, and click and drag to the right. Yes, get this. It's looking very good now, and we got ourselves a bullet. And that's basically it. So maybe we can adjust some things here. You see this, this is not aligned perfectly here, so we can just go to this spline, click on points, and just maybe go to the front view again, and just select these 2 points, just drag them to the right until it fits. Now it seems to fit. Yeah. Yeah, as I said before, that's basically it. And now we're gonna go to the shading. I'm gonna do this with Redshift. I'm gonna just select everything, and then I'm gonna pull it up so it sits on the ground, more or less. See, this is the ground here. And I'm gonna add a plane. Just gonna scale it up a little bit. Yeah, this is looking good now. And now I'm gonna switch to my Redshift view. So first of all, we need a light. We can do this a bit bigger here. And to do that, we're going to go to Redshift, Lights, and add a dome light. We need an image. We need an HDRI for this. So we go to the content browser. I have my favorites already here and select maybe this one. This is like an overcast image, which gives me softer shadows. So if we take a look at our reference, we can see that we have three materials. This one is more like a golden material, this one is more like a bronze, and this one maybe an iron. And luckily, Redshift offers these built in as a preset. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create, Redshift, Material, create a new material here. Just wait a little bit. So, okay, and just click and drag it to this part. And I'm going to go to my Redshift node view and click on the Redshift material and say preset gold. We have a gold material. We're going to create another Redshift material. Wait a little bit maybe. And just click and drag it to the middle part. Make sure that it's selected and select in the preset, select copper. So we get the copper material, and we need another material, Redshift material. Click and drag it to the top part, and I'm going to select iron. Okay, so now I want to make it look a little bit worn. There should be some scratches and maybe a little bit of rust in here. So I'm going to select the gold material. I'm not sure why it doesn't update in the down here with the thumbnails. I'm not sure. So what we need now is some surface imperfection, and I got some from polygon.com. I mean, you can use your own, but these work great for me. So I go to imperfections, and I have where is it? Gun scratches, right? Gun scratches, and I'm gonna click and drag the normal map, but not the 3K, but the 16-bit version. I'm gonna click and drag it down here, and we need a bump map. Yeah, this is small. Just see if I can make it a little bit bigger. We need a bump map. Just click and drag it. And when you're working with normal maps, you have to make sure that you select the gamma override, because I think the normal map is in linear color space. So make sure to check this. Also, if you're working with normal maps, make sure that you check in the bump map node that the input map type is select to tangent space, and not to height space. Height space is for bump maps. So I'm just going to click and drag it to this blue icon here, go to texture input. And now I'm going to click and drag it to our overall bump input. And let's see. Oh yeah, we can already see something has happened. This is what happened. But the it's in the wrong direction. It should be like scratched in and not like right now it seems like it's standing out. So what we can do is we go to the bump map and check the height scale and just reverse it. Now this is looking better. And also what I want to do is give it some more like scratches. And I have this one. Also, when you go to the dirt wipes, I have this overlay here. Or we can use the normal map as well. So I just click and drag it. And just do the same thing. just check, make sure that gamma override is selected, and go to bump map, go to tangent space, texture input, and just replace it. And we get this. Is this what we want? Maybe. Yes. So we want to combine these two. And how can we do this? Luckily, there is a bump map blender here. So just click and drag it, and I'm going to connect these two together. Input 1. And we're going to check additive mode and make sure that the blend weight is set to 1. And now we should get something. Yeah, so we have both normal maps blended together. This is looking nice. All right, so now I want some rusty pieces on the bullet that looks like that it's kind of old, and we need the color. Do this. And we need the normal map, and what we also need is the maybe the gloss map, and we used this one as a as kind of a blender between this golden structure and the rust flakes. It doesn't make any sense what I'm saying right now. Okay, so we're gonna create a new material. Just put in our rust to the diffuse color and connect it. See what happens. Okay, this is what happens. We get these little rusty flakes. But I don't want this color here, but I want these rusty flakes on the bullet. So, well, first of all, I'm going to add this bump map. Tangent. Like so, but again, it's the wrong direction, it seems. Yes, this is looking better. So, as I said before, I want these rusty flakes, but not the color. I want the golden color. So what I can do is, I can go to materials and say I want to add a material blender and blend between the rusted material and the and the golden material. To do that, I'm going to use this glossy material, or maybe I should use the reflection material. Now I'm going to use the reflection material instead. Okay, I'm just going to delete the glossy and see what happens. Yeah, this is the right one. So everything that is dark is the rusty flakes, and everything that is gray, or in the end then white, is the golden material. And how can we make this white? I'm going to add a ramp. Just put the ramp in here and just crunch the values until it gets white. Like so. Yes, and make this one even more dark, like so. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the rusted material, put it into the material blender base material, and now we take the golden material and put it into our layer 1. Layer color 1, and we're going to use our blend material to blend between these two. go to blend color and make sure that we see through. Yeah, and this is looking very good. Now we have this rusted flakes on here. Maybe we want these rusted flakes to be a little bit more white or a little bit lighter. So we can do that by changing the gamma of our rusted material by enabling the gamma and just see, I already enabled it and changed to 1. So let's say, because 2.2 is the default value for this, but I'm going to use 1.8 maybe. Yeah, this is looking good. Also, we can change the size of these flakes by going to General and play with the scaling factor. Let's see, 0.5. Yeah, the thing is, change the scale, but I have to change all of these in order to affect, because this one is a reference scale-wise to this one. So how can we do that? Yeah, so I added a vector absolute and plugged them into both of the scale values of the albedo texture. Added this into the diffuse texture here, and also in this reflection in this blend material texture scale. So if I change the value of the vector here, it changes both. Now this is actually what I want. So no, not this one, but maybe this is too big. If we upper this one, we get some smaller flakes, but it looks less distorted now. And actually, I like it. Check this. Yeah, this looks actually very good. Same thing here. Let's see if I can change the scale as well. To scale. Not sure why I'm getting these flakes. Maybe we're getting these flakes because here in the ramp I have to crunch it even more. Yeah, see that? Really have to crunch the value of the ramp to avoid this colored texture to appear from the rusted material. So, but this is basically it. What we can do now is we can just go ahead and copy this whole node tree and paste it to our middle part. And delete this one. We don't need this one we created earlier. And connect this. And now what we can do is we can go ahead and change the material up here, which is the gold material right now, to copper. We get the same effect. Same thing goes for the iron. I'm going to delete the iron and paste it. Just going to connect it. And we want, instead of gold, we want iron. And that's it. So for a more consistent and lighting, we're going to create a new material and put it onto the floor. And just going to lower this one. Make this one a little bit bigger. And what we want to do now is change to the attributes change the values to 1. Just scale it up a little bit more. Maybe make the ground, I'm gonna make it white and upper the roughness like so. That's looking good. Now we want to make some kind of an endless floor, if you know what I mean. To do this is pretty simple. We just convert this this plane to a mesh, and go ahead, go to edge selection, select these two edges, press E on the keyboard, and with Control drag it up. We get this. All right, and now we want to bevel the edges, and this is also very simple. We just shift and click and let it click, and go to where is it? Bevel. Now the attributes, we're gonna change the offset to a high number like 300 maybe, and also upper the subdivisions to maybe 10. We get this. Just create a Redshift camera. And in the settings, we're going to switch to Redshift. We could have done this earlier. And go to and enable global illumination. Go to brute force and irradiance point cloud. And we get a very nice lit image. Go to maybe upper the samples to, let's say, 256, and also maybe upper the samples for our dome light to 512 maybe, and go to our bucket rendering to see if everything is clear, which it is. And now we give it a render and see how it looks. So, and this is our final render. Looks pretty good. Not far away from the render I used for the thumbnail. I mean, the patches are a little bit bigger, but anyway. And there is something I forgot. And this is the middle lower part here. So I already put a material on it, the bronze material, or sorry, the copper material. And yeah, there's always something written on the size of the bullet, I think so, in a millimeter, I think. So there are some methods you could do this. You could try to put a motex with the spline wrap on it. I already did that. I created a circle. You can see this one here. And then a motex with a spline wrap on it, and put the circle into the spline. But what happens is the following. The text gets kind of squished, and this looks a little bit cartoonish. And this is not what we want. We want the text going in the circle, but keep it straight, so to say. So I'm going to disable this, and the method I found out is that we could use an Illustrator. I did an Illustrator file and put the text around one circle and exported it and re-imported it to Cinema 4D and put in a bool, and I put 2 bools on it. I have to disable this one here. So now you can see this. Now we get a very good looking text inside of this thing here. Yeah, and that's it basically. I'm going to give this a re-render and see you next time.